Hi, my name is Kelly Cohen, and I am the Gifted Magnet Coordinator. Thank you for viewing our video, which is pre-recorded from an earlier informational night for potential families. If you have any questions, please email me at Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y, .Cohen, C-O-H-E-N, @lausd.net. The Palms Middle School Gifted and High Ability Magnet. Our motto is challenge the mind, inspire the spirit. And that is what we try and do in all of our classes at Palms Middle School. So welcome. My name is Kelly Cohen. I'm the Magnet Coordinator. Palms Middle School actually has 4 programs that's within our school. We have our neighborhood school, our SAS program, our Gifted High Ability Magnet, and our Modern Media and Communications Magnet. So tonight, we are going to focus on the Gifted High Ability Magnet. If you wanted to learn more information about our Modern Media and Communications Magnet, we did have that Zoom meeting last night and we recorded it. And within the next couple of days, it will be posted on our Magnet website. So please feel free to check that out on your free time. What the Gifted High Ability Magnet focuses on, this is a magnet that serves students who demonstrate the ability to work 2 years above grade level in academic subjects. That doesn't mean like a 6th grader is going to be working and doing 8th grade work, but what it means is like maybe the novel they're reading is more at a higher grade level, or the in-depth questions would be something we would expect them to be able to do if they were in a higher grade level, but the curriculum is still at the 6th grade level if that's the grade that your child is going to be in next year. One thing I do want to say, tonight is recorded, so please make sure if you have individual personalized questions that you email me. I'm more than happy to give you a phone call and talk to them. That way it is not on our recording tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop share. And I want to introduce our principal, Mr. Choi, who's going to say a few words to everyone.
Good evening, families. Thank you for being here. How exciting. We have over 150 participants, including our teachers and our panelists.
Oops,
and
Mr. Choi, you're breaking up.
Oh, okay. So I may have to shut off my video because my kids may be streaming in the background and taking up all the bandwidth. Once again, I just want to welcome everyone. My name is Leonard Choi, and I have the privilege of being the principal here at Palms Middle School. And of course, I wouldn't be able to do this job without an extraordinary team. I want to, briefly introduce Mr. Barbosa, my administrative colleague, who oversees our 6th grade students. And then, of course, our phenomenal teachers who have been the constant in everything we have done. They are the glue that brings us together. So far, I see on the call, I see Miss Anderson, I see Miss Garrett, I see Miss Golden, Miss Shimizu, and if I missed any other individuals. And last but not least, parents, I want to really highlight is our parent group. I do see Miss Stacy Short Stern, our FOP president, on the call as well. And of course, it is so important that we all work collaboratively and work together. Parents, I just want to reiterate a couple of things. At this time in our life, there's so many great choices. There are so many great schools in LA Unified for your child to go to. But if I can, I'm gonna make 3 very important points here. The first one is we have been educating young minds since 1949. That's over 70 years of a track record of educating students. We have a track record of just increasing not only our test scores, but also ensuring that students are ready for high school since day one. We have our various programs that really makes our students successful. The second one is we have rigorous and challenging programs, such as the highly accelerated programs. We have the honors program. And we, of course, through the gifted program, the high expectations that are there. And so it is the second one that's very important, right? The rigorous. And I can tell you last night, we're working in partnership with LA Southwest College to bring in dual enrollment students, the ability to be able to take college courses for 8th graders. And so we're really excited about that. We're going to start off in the spring semester. So we're going to continue to build out. We're also exploring high interest programs such as robotics and programming and coding as well. So we're trying to stay relevant, again, challenge our students. And then third, and I think this is such a big one, families, is we have a dedicated staff. Our staff loves being with middle schoolers. As you know, middle school is like one of those transitional years. It's a very difficult time for many individuals. Think about when we were in middle school, right? And some of the challenges we went through. Our teachers have been doing this for many years. They love and they want to be with your middle schooler. They want them to be successful. Not only is there a dedicated staff, we have our own staff members that also includes neighboring school teachers and staff members in the school that send their own children. We even have like multiple school police officers sending their children to Palms Middle School because they believe in our mission. They believe in our education programs. I know there's a lot of great schools out there, but to me, I just think with the three top thing, we've been educating since 49, rigorous and challenging programs, and we have a dedicated staff that loves to see our middle school schoolers thrive. I hope to see your child in next school year, in the fall, in person, without a mask, roaming the halls, and of course, finding themselves to be the next leaders, the next doctors, lawyers, nurses, and even teachers. Before I go, as I mentioned, dedicated staff, I do want to really quickly highlight Ms. Garrett. She graduated from Palms Middle School. Mr. Barbosa graduated from Palms Middle School. I believe Ms. Golden also graduated from Palms Middle School. What does that tell you, right? That there is a rich history. We have even staff members that want to come back and give back to their community that really poured their lives into. So with that said, thank you once again. Have a wonderful evening. I'm gonna hand it back over to Ms. Cohen.
I was just going to say, I put your picture on so you could take your screen off if you need to. Okay. I know Mr. Choi was having a little bit of a technical difficulty with his mic. So thank you, Mr. Choi, for coming tonight. He is such an inspiration as our administrator. We are very fortunate to have him at Palms Middle School. And you will see if your child does go here, he is a very involved principal that has an open door policy and is very easy to get a hold of as well. So thank you, Mr. Choi, for coming. Just a little housekeeping things. We are recording tonight. So if you want to view this at a later date or show it to someone else, within a few days, it should be on our website. Also, there will be a Q&A at the end of the meeting. So if you have questions, you can hold off on them. And then at the end of the meeting, you'll be able to unmute yourself. Any of the co-hosts, though, you can send a chat message to, and they will try and answer it as well. So back onto the Palms Gifted Magnet program. So Palms offers an enriched interdisciplinary academic environments that are exciting, challenging, and encourage students to use creative and critical thinking skills. This is so important for students to be able to do. Palms Middle School is committed to providing a supportive educational program designed to challenge and promote intellectual and social growth of its students. As we know, many students were not in school for 18 months, and that is so important that we are developing our curriculum to meet their social emotional growth, as what some teachers are doing in their homeroom classes. They're doing meditation and mind growth activities, also team building activities. so that students are able to kind of get to know each other, reconnect with other students, and develop those bonds that they've kind of been missing for a little while. The school values a strong character development experience to prepare students for socially responsible leadership positions, both within the school and the community at large. And what that means is that we do have programs where students can step up, be active, take leadership roles, but we also have a phenomenal leadership program that students can take as an elective. And you're going to hear from a couple of those students tonight. And that is a program that's offered from sixth grade through eighth grade. And then teachers and staff nurture students' strengths through a differentiated curriculum of concept development, skill building, and product projects. Ms. Garrett's going to talk a little bit about what she does in her class. It's really amazing how in-depth she goes with her projects, which we find is so important so that students can really experiment and learn the subject, not just read about it. This means that at least 75% of our students had to score at proficient or advanced in the model of excellence in both English and math on the California Standardized Tests. Palm has not only met the goal, but it exceeded it significantly year after year. And so I'm going to just take this moment. Unfortunately, we're not able to do in-person tours. We're hoping maybe by next spring we will be able to. This is a video that was made prior to the pandemic that our students are going to talk about how they feel about palms, and you also get a little insight of what it looks like during a lunch or nutrition.
Hey, what's up? I'm Adrian. We've been expecting you.
Welcome to Palms. Come follow us. So besides candygrams, other things we do for sixth graders are sixth grade dances, which are so much fun. And then seventh and eighth graders also have their separate dances. In sixth grade, we also have the sixth grade Olympics, which are really fun because you can show all your abilities in different and fun activities.
Good news about Palms. We scored nearly twice as high as LAUSD schools in Common Core, Math, and English.
6, 7, and 8th grade.
When you combine excellent teachers with students who want to excel, you just can't go wrong.
You know, we practice the golden rule here at this school.
That means we treat each other with respect.
We treat everybody like a friend.
The teachers at the school are great. It's a wonderful experience. You know, you have a lot of friends, very friendly here.
It's actually really fun. You get to make a whole bunch of friends. Take a deep breath and relax.
Hope you enjoyed the video.
You know, we're a big family here at Palms.
We'll see you in August.
You'll have a great year.
Palms Pride.
I feel so good.
All right. Let me back into this. So that's a little insight on what our campus looks like, and you can also get the kind of the atmosphere of how the friends, students get together, they create friends, and we really like to have that as our motto: treat others as you would like to be treated. So I'm going to go a little bit into how do you qualify for the highly gifted magnet programs. It is if your child has already been identified as gifted through LA Unified, there's nothing that you need to do. If they've been identified as gifted either through academic achievement, or intellectual, they will qualify. Now, we know that there hasn't been a lot of testing done lately, and there is some testing done right now, but that may not be put into the system before this application process is done. So what will happen is if your child wants to apply to SAS or gifted, they will have to meet the 4 criterias. And so what your current principal will be looking at and your current child's teacher will be, does your child explain meanings or relationships among facts, information, or concepts that demonstrate depth and complexity? Does your child formulate new ideas or solutions and elaborate on the information? Does your child use alternative methods in approaching new or unfamiliar mathematical problems? Does your child use extensive vocabulary easily and accurately to express creative ideas? This comes directly from the Magnet website. So if you want to take a screenshot, you can get more information from there. If your child is currently in a school that is a non-LAUSD school, I will talk about it a little bit later, but you will actually have to download the form that's on this website and have your current principal fill it out, and then you will be responsible that it gets to the Magnet office by November. But if your child is in an LA Unified School, when you apply to an SAS or a gifted magnet program, your principal will automatically receive a list of all those students who applied. They will then check your students' grades. They'll look at the scores that they've had, and they'll look at these 4 criteria. Now, if your child doesn't qualify, it's not because we don't want them in our program. We want to make sure that every child is successful. So to meet these criteria, we know that they will be able to be successful and that they will be able to withstand the rigor that comes with this program. So a little bit more about it is, I said this a little bit. So what will happen is the district automatically verifies the eligibility through the district records and the district's online verification process. All right, next. So all private and independent charters and non-LAUSD students applicants must follow the procedure below. So if your child is not in an LA Unified School, you might want to take a screenshot of this right now. It will be 2021 instead of 2020. And then you will need to make sure that your current principal mails it to the LAUSD Unified Enrollment. If it is not received in time, they will not be eligible for the program. All right, a little bit about the difference between SAS and gifted magnets. That's a common question that we get. Here at Palms, we have both programs. We have an SAS program and we have a gifted magnet program. Now, some of the perks, let me back up a little bit. SAS and gifted, they both are going to have rigorous programs that meet the needs of gifted and high ability programs. Both of our programs are outstanding and your child would do well in both programs. But the big difference is SAS is more of a classification at our school that it allows the counselors just to know that your child should be put into honors classes. Whereas a gifted magnet, there's a lot of little perks that go along with it. For example, you have a magnet coordinator, which I help oversee the program. I also work with the teachers. We develop curriculum. We work together as a group. There's also special funding that goes along with it. So those are some of the perks. The other thing is points. At the end of the 3 years in the magnet program, whatever magnet program you're in for middle school, you will leave with 12 points when you matriculate onto high school. So I know you're just thinking about middle school right now, but you want to think ahead too about if you would want to go to a magnet high school, it really is beneficial to be in a magnet middle school as well. The other thing is transportation. I'll talk about transportation in a little while. If you live more than 5 radius miles away from the school, your child would qualify for bus transportation. Okay, a little bit about the course outline. So one of the other things that's a difference between a gifted magnet and an SAS program is in a gifted magnet, your child will be in honors classes for their academic classes. Whereas but of course they could be in more. So every middle school student in the district is always going to have a language arts, that's their English class. They're going to have a history class. They're going to have a math class, a science class, PE, and an elective. As you can see here in our gifted magnet program, they will have honors for their academic classes. And then we have an accelerated math program. I'm going to let Miss Anderson, who is our accelerated math teacher, in a few minutes. She's going to talk a little bit more about the program to allow you to understand it better. And then what's different about the gifted magnet versus the media magnet, which is our theme magnet, is you will be able to choose your electives in this program. We're going to talk about quite a few of the electives in a little bit. But our program here at Palms Middle School, the electives for the homeschool, neighborhood school, SAS, and the gifted magnet, all those students are in the same elective classes. So they can choose from arts. We have 2 different art teachers, yearbook, robotics, computers. We have a fantastic music department where if your child already plays an instrument, they can try out for an advanced band through Miss Jones, and she'll talk in a few minutes. Or if they have done an instrument, they can take a beginning. Band class. We also have a phenomenal leadership program, creative expressions. That's a class that a lot of 6th graders are in. And we now have Spanish, and Spanish is starting in 6th grade. We started it this year, and we're going to be adding it for each grade in the next years. I'm going to show you a short video about our robotics program that has just started this year for our 7th and 8th graders.
Science has disrupted entire industries. It's changed the way we think, it's changed the way we communicate, it's changed the way we work, and it has the opportunity to change the way we teach students.
And having even a little bit of grounding in computer science can help you think about the world differently.
And getting past that initial fear of what computer science is what's going to change the whole field of computer science.
Computer Science Discoveries is a year-long computer science course that covers hardware and how computers work. It covers some web development, how do websites get made, how do they get published. You get to do some programming with video games. We talk about socially impactful areas of computer science.
Well, it's fun because a lot of the time you get to collaborate with other people, and you also get to get some insight on other people's ideas.
You can do a lot of creativity stuff. So if you're a creative person, you might like it too.
And it always helps you with your life, no matter what you're doing. Computer science is always there.
It's about the meaning of the work, like changes that you actually want to see in the world, or fun that you want to have, or beauty that you want to experience.
Through the act of making something simple, you're learning all these lessons that you're going to be able to use to make really anything that you want.
There are a lot of challenges along the way, but it's pretty satisfying in the end where you get to just stand back and look at what you've done.
And choosing to be a part of this is a big deal.
It really helps. It's just like a skill to have. Instead of saying, I don't know how to do it, you can say, I do.
And computer science is always there.
It's about the meaning of.
So you can see this Computer Science Discoveries is a program that our science teacher, Mr. Martinez, has been teaching. And so this is available for our 7th and 8th graders. Going back to our SBAC scores, this is just to give you an overview. So there hasn't been any testing for the last 2 years, but you can see our scores over a few years. And there should be SBAC testing this year. We don't know for sure yet, but you can see back in 2018, 2019, 82.3% of our students either met or exceeded the English language arts on the test, whereas it was only a 44% average in the district. In math, 72.3% of our students met or exceeded the math SBAC tests, whereas in the districts, it's only a 33.6%. So we're really proud of our students. And you can see we really have a rigorous program. Lunchtime activities, we have things like the chess club, journalism, anime, Palms Penheads, garden club, music room, homework study room. We have Black Student Union, GSGLA, puzzle club, film club, and the board game club. Now, clubs do differ from year to year. A lot of times it's based on teachers' interests and also students. I've had students before come up with an idea, they find a sponsor, and that's how a club is born. And it's very exciting when there's student-driven clubs. Our outstanding PE facilities, they were refurbished recently. So you'll see we have new brown tops. We also have a spin room through a grant that we got through UCLA. After school programs, we have homework help that happens on Mondays and Wednesdays, art in the afternoon. If one thing that's good about afternoon programs is since they only have one elective today, this gives them a chance to be able to have other experiences in other areas that they're interested in. East-West Players is an after-school drama. Usually there's in the fall it will happen, and then again in the spring. Robotics, Ballet Folklorico. We're going to hear from one of our students tonight. This is also a UCLA program that we have. Beyond the Bell, if you're a working parent like I am, you're always looking for somewhere that's a safe environment, that's enriching for your students, and it goes till 6 o'clock every night. And then we also have Team Prime Time. So we have sports programs that are offered after school through Team Prime Time. They do have meets or games with other schools. There is a fee that does go along with this. And then the library is open after school. And jazz band, if your child is interested in, already knows how to play an instrument, but they can't take music during the day, they can audition for the jazz band with Ms. Jones. So here's some additional programs that we have at Palms. So there is a lot of, we are in the city, right in the heart of it. So we have a lot of partnerships throughout the area around us. Magnet Transportation. This is on our website. So if you're curious about if your child would be offered transportation, and if that's a big issue, deciding factor on whether or not you're going to apply, please go to our website under the Magnet page. You'll see there's a transportation link. You can actually put your address in it and it will tell you if you will qualify for transportation or not. If you notice, there's a map here. You have to live 5 radius miles, which is beyond this red line. So you have to live outside this red line on the map to qualify for transportation. All right, so I'm going to stop here. I'm going to talk about the applications after at the very end. So if you want more information about the applications, please stay till the end. But right now I'm going to ask Ms. Anderson to come back on, and I'm going to go back to that one, hold on, that one screen that has the map.
Thank you. Okay, so welcome. My name is Miss Anderson, and I've been at Palms for 23 years. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, and I've been teaching the last several years the accelerated program. So if you see on that slide, in the middle is our math pathway. So we have just the Common Core, which is 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. It's just a year of math each year. If your child is in the Common Core in 6th grade, they can do accelerated in 7th grade. So that might be the place that you want to pick up that accelerated line, might be in 7th grade. They can take the accelerated math, which is a year and a half of math in 1 year. So they would cover all of 7th grade and half of 8th grade in that line. And then in 8th grade, they move over into that middle blue section where they would take accelerated math again, which is a year and a half. And they would finish up that half a year of 8th grade and then do 1 full year of algebra. If they enroll in 6th grade in the highly accelerated program, they're going to take 2 years of math. So it's rather fast. It's all of 6th grade standards and all of 7th grade. And then when they move into 7th grade, they would take highly accelerated, which is 2 years. And that's all of math and all of algebra. So that's probably the more difficult year is the 7th grade highly accelerated, because it is 1 year of math of 8th grade, and then all of algebra. So it's like a semester each. So it's a lot of material in that 1 year in 7th grade, highly accelerated. Then they would move into 8th grade, which is just 1 year of geometry. I know a lot of questions have been asked, like, what do you do in geometry? We do proofs. We do lots of proofs. I have actually 3 geometry classes this year. So that's just kind of the pathway of our math options.
I have a question.
Yes.
With regard to the math, because I'm kind of a math major, I'm an accounting major. But once they've taken this algebra, they don't have to take it in high school, the algebra 1?
I believe they would take algebra 2 in high school, or whatever the high school pathway is that they choose. But they would not take algebra 1, no. Okay. So Ms. Cohen, if you could get, and I will be glad to answer as best as I can questions in the chat. Mr. Barbosa, he's doing our translation. He is our assistant principal in charge of counseling. So if any question I can't answer, I would, maybe suggest him or one of our counselors. So Ms. Cohen, can you get me out of this? And I'm going to screen share something else I want to talk about is I lost it. Okay.
Can I
That's
just
okay.
say one thing really fast about the math? So parents a lot of times wonder, well, how will my child qualify for the math? That is done through the counselors. Ms. Bradshaw will be here later on. And when your child enrolls in our school, we will get their records and they will examine what their test scores were, what their grades were, their performances, and the counselors will then determine which math level they should be put in. Of course, as a parent, you can reach out to the counselor later on, but that is the determining factor on which level of math they will be put into.
Okay.
And again, at the end, we will answer questions. So please hold your questions till the very end for the Q&A.
And then I'm also going to talk about our wonderful Camp Palms. If your child decides to come to Palms, we have a wonderful 2-day camp the week before school starts. And we do different sessions like a scavenger hunt where they're able to go around the campus and see the different things that our school has. They have a meet a friend, which we started last summer because of COVID, and a lot of the kids weren't with other kids and they didn't know a lot of people coming to Palms. So they're able to meet new friends on those first 2 days right before school starts. We have a walking tour, which Ms. Garrett did at one of our walking tours, where I actually learned some things about secret things about Palms, which was kind of cool. And they get to go through the lunch line, so it's not intimidating their first year. How do I get lunch? Where's the bathrooms? Those kind of things. We have a tour of our library because we have a phenomenal library. It's an awesome library. We have our wonderful PE teachers. So we have our PE orientation on like, what do they do for dressing for PE, because they didn't dress out in elementary school. We have, how do you use your lockers in PE? How do you do your locker combinations? We have Palms rules, like what are the dress code, those kind of things, kind of a fun game atmosphere. And then we also had a little session on Schoology and our website, just how to utilize the website, how to contact teachers, and how to use Schoology. So it's a wonderful 2-day event. I hope you guys all decide to pick Palms, and thank you for coming. And I'll be in chat if I can answer any questions. I'll do my best. Thank you.
Yeah, feel free. You can directly chat Ms. Anderson right as we're through the presentation if you have individual questions. But right now I want to turn it over to Ms. Jones, who is our music teacher. Ms. Jones.
Good evening, everyone. So lovely to be here. My name is Miss Jones, and as already mentioned, I am the music teacher here at Palms Middle School. At Palms, we have 2 options. If you have a kiddo who already plays an instrument and they know how to read music, they can actually audition in to be part of my advanced band or my advanced orchestra. We actually have 2 advanced bands, Gold Band and Blue Band. May or may not be named after UCLA colors, as well as our wonderful advanced orchestra. Once again, these are for musicians who already know how to play their instruments and they know how to read music. I know an audition can sound a little bit scary, but I promise you, I know I look like I'm really intimidating, but it's not too much. If you have a kiddo who wants to play a musical instrument, but maybe they haven't had an opportunity in the past, or maybe they've played, but they don't feel so confident reading music. They think advanced band might might be a little bit too much, then they are absolutely welcome to join my beginning classes. I have beginning strings where we learn violin, viola, cello, and double bass. And then I have beginning winds and percussion where they can learn trumpet, flute, clarinet, drums, and all of that great stuff. Once again, the audition process is nothing too crazy, and I highly recommend that if they have experience in the past and they know how to read music, I would absolutely love to have them. In terms of the music we play, I try to make sure that it is super, super varied. For example, right now we're playing a song by the Beatles. We are playing the theme song to Mandalorian. And if you're familiar with pop punk, we're playing a very famous song by the band Panic at the Disco. So we have a great time. I try to make sure that we are really learning about different musicians all throughout history, all throughout the world. As mentioned previously, I also have a club that meets after school for jazz band. This is audition only, not because I'm trying to be mean, but because we read a lot of really fun jazz music from around the years as well. So if they are in a different program, but they still want to play music after school, I would absolutely love to have them participate. Ms. Cohen, do I have hosting privileges? Okay, wonderful, thank you. I do wanted to share with you guys very, very briefly just a little bit of a clip of our virtual concert from last year. Obviously, last year was a little bit different than it's been in the past, but I was so proud of our kiddos. They actually recorded themselves performing individually, and then I had the delightful job of editing the videos together. But for this being a pretty professional level thing to ask them, I'm really, really proud of how it turned out. So I do want to share it with you really briefly. And then I believe we will also be hearing from one of my wonderful music students. Give me 1 second. Dun, 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 dun. Ms. Cohen, will you give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen? Excellent, thank you guys so much, I appreciate it. This is Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day, as performed by my wonderful advanced orchestra from last year. I hope you enjoy. Oh dear, attack of the internet. All right, it was meant to be. That was only the first little clip you're allowed to see. If you would like to hear more, feel free to send me an email. Hold on, came back, of course. Speaking of email, I am going to write my email in the chat. My name is Jessica Jones, and so believe it or not, there's more than one of me. Please make sure you add the 2 at the end. I love talking to parents and guardians about music. Please send me any and all questions. If they're feeling nervous about an audition, I would love to chat with you guys. So please reach out and contact me. And if there is one Zohar, is there a Zohar present to perhaps talk about the music program? Uh-oh. Zohar, I hear a squeaking sound. Can you try to mute and unmute again right now, buddy? Hold on, speak again, Zohar. You sound kind of like a chipmunk, my friend.
Zohar, what we can do is we can go ahead and do the art, and then why don't you go off the Zoom and come back in? We'll try it one more time. Can you speak one last time? Okay, why don't you check it out on Zoom, and then we can come right back in, and then I'm going to go ahead and introduce Miss Golden.
Thanks, Zohar.
So thank you so much for coming. As you can see, we have a phenomenal music program. Miss Jones is very committed, and she just works so hard with the students. We are so fortunate to have her. So this is a fantastic music program here at Palms Middle School. That's an area that your child wants to continue their education in. And we look forward to, in a second, to see Zohar. But I'm going to switch it over to Miss Golden. Miss Golden, did you want to tell us a little bit about the art program?
Hi, everyone. I'm Miss Golden. I'm alumni of Palms. Whoop, whoop. So we have a really successful art program at our school. It's really strong, more so than most middle schools. We actually have 2 art teachers. The other art teacher, Miss Purdy, she teaches design crafts. and I teach drawing and painting. We also have film, and our film teacher is graduated from USC Film School, so she's phenomenal. She always wins awards. Right now we're doing a Dia de los Muertos Tournament of Roses Parade contest, and one of my students won last year. We're doing a mural with a world-renowned artist named John Park. You could check out his art on John Park Art Instagram. I bring in artists from around the world to my classes. I've had an artist from Italy come to my class and work with my students. We did 3 murals with 3 artists from around the world, and one was a virtual reality artist as well. So this kids, I really try and introduce the kids to everything going around and on in the world besides just tangible art. So if there's socio-political stuff going on in the world, I want my students to have a socio-political commentary in their art. So we'll do silhouette art based on the famous African-American artist, Kara Walker. We'll do street art, which I'm going to show you, which is based on a street artist named Finn Dack. And then my student incorporated his own culture and his own life experiences and created his own artwork. What else? I'm going to have a student talk also, Petra Dally, who is an amazing artist, and she brings so much to the program. I really want my students to have a voice. So what's going on in the world at the time, I really encourage them to have a voice through their art. I'm a student-centered teacher, and I'm really all about community, and it takes a village. So I really teach my students to help those who can't help themselves. So we also do a drive for homeless teens in Venice every year. And we also did art for the fallen soldiers in Afghanistan. So the students are very socially aware in my class of what's going on in the world, and it really shines through their art. I also just wanted to piggyback off what our principal, Mr. Choi, said about the kids being prepared and successful. The teachers at this school are phenomenal, and talking about it takes a village. We really are a community of making sure we really want our children to be successful, which we call them our children, but they're your children. We want our students to be successful. It's really important to us, and I am so proud to work with these teachers. So let me just show you. Can I share my screen, Kelly? Okay. Okay, let me close this. Okay. Sorry. So I'm just going to show you a couple of pieces that I popped up on my email here. So this was just finished today. It's Audrey Hepburn. It's Prismacolor pencil and acrylic paint. It's done by Grace Viegas. She's a phenomenal artist. I really teach my students how to pay attention to detail, have great craftsmanship, great content, and be able to speak about their piece and do an artist statement. That's really important, and to stay current. And then this piece was also just finished today. We also do pop art as well. I have 7th and 8th grade students. And the reason why I'm showing this piece is, first of all, because it's phenomenal craftsmanship for a 7th or 8th grader, but also the student, I try and get them to connect to art through their emotions. So my student presented this to class today and said, the reason why the painting has meaning to her, because she chose to do the painting in black and white and in color to show that there's darkness through light, and that we are going through some heavy times right now, but there's also could be life in color and happiness in life through color. So she wanted to be really clear about that in her art. I thought that was really amazing the way she was able to express herself. Once again, connecting to the higher level of thinking with our Gifted Magnet program. And then I have one more, I think here, hold on. Okay. So this is another student of mine. This is based on a famous street artist named Finn Dack, acrylic paint. And those are hieroglyphics in the back. And then my student wanted to incorporate his culture as well. So he wanted to incorporate a language that he speaks from, a country that he was born in, and incorporate it in his artwork. So I really encourage the students to tap into their life, their culture, and what they're about, and create their own piece. So this is actually a portrait, a self-portrait he did of himself, a painting. And then I'll just show a few more. This is watercolor, it's gouache, and this is based on a painting by Louise McNaught. This is landscape and perspective. It's watercolor. This was done by a 7th grader. This is a space painting. So we cover everything from art history to past artists to current artists. And then this is an example of taking things to a higher level. We studied pop art and Campbell Soup Can, Andy Warhol. And then this is based on a cat. This was actually a painting done for someone who worked at the school and loved cats. So my student juxtaposed the cat in different positions and talked to the former principal about his love of his cat and created the personality shining through this painting. So this is a student taking their own perspective on pop art and creating a phenomenal piece that if you saw this in person, it should be in a museum. I'm very proud of my students. I can't help but brag. Okay, so I just wanted to show those pieces real quick. I also want to brag and show off my fabulous Petra Daly. Petra, are you there? Make sure I'm
Hello, yeah, I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
So Petra, you can tell everyone about my program and being in my art class and what it's like.
Right. Well, really, it's the whole place is really nice, and what she does is really just gives us assignments, a few assignments every month, and always helps us with the assignments in class every single day. It's really surprising in how busy she is, but how much she can remember. She allows us to do digital art. She allows us to do color pencils and painting, and many more. And it's absolutely fantastic in the class. I love it. Tell you the truth, speaking from the heart, she helps me with drawing because I was rubbish at it at first. I already was doing digital art before I went to class, but it wasn't as good as it was now. And I really am happy that Miss Golden helped me through a lot, because she supported me with all the artwork that I've shown her. And I love the class. I love it. It's absolutely wonderful. One of my favorite class in the dance.
Thanks, Petra.
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming and showing everyone about our wonderful art program and everything. I want to go back in and one of the reasons we want to highlight our electives, because we really feel that that students need to have a well-rounded education, not just all about academics, but also the electives are so important in creating that whole child education. And we take that very seriously in our electives program. So let me see if I can find Zohar. Are you here?
Can you hear me now?
I can. Yeah. Welcome back. And it's nice to hear your voice in a normal tone. Tell us a little bit about your music experience here at Palms.
So I'm Zohar. I'm in 8th grade and I play the clarinet in Gold Band. I'm the 3rd person in my family to go to Palms, and my little sister came this year and she's also in the music program. Before I came to Palms though, I played the clarinet for around half a year. And then after being accepted into Palms, I was able to audition into band around the end of 5th grade. Playing in a band or an orchestra is really fun because you get to make music with others and you make plenty of friends in the class. We get to play a lot of interesting and exciting songs, and in a normal schedule, we play in a concert a few times a year. For me, the class is in first period, and it's a great way to start my day. This year in band, we're playing outside because we can't take our masks off inside, but we're still able to get our own instruments and practice at home and play during class. We practice 3 to 4 times a week at home for at least 20 minutes. For me, the music program is a great experience. Miss Jones is a great teacher and is very funny. I highly recommend the music program. It's really fun.
All right. Thank you so much, Zohar, and thank you so much, Miss Jones. Yes, let's give them all of our students a big round of applause. Now we're going to segue over to Miss Garrett, who is one of our history teachers in the gifted magnet program, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the importance of project-based learning. So thank you for joining us tonight, Ms. Garrett.
Thank you. I also am an alumni of Palms Middle School, and I love teaching history in the Gifted Magnet because I actually feel like I am teaching all of the subject matters, yes, including math, Miss Anderson, because I do so many project-based learning techniques within the magnet. One misconception about Gifted Magnet programs is the word accelerated is used and people think, oh, you get through more content faster, but it's actually a much slower process. It's complex and it's a lot more depth to it. So we actually go slower. I'm going to share my screen right now and show you actually it's my Palms website, which you all have access to, but I like to feature the students during projects in the class that we do continuously through the year. So one example of a project that we do towards the beginning, spoiler alert for my students who are here now, is that they become the Roman emperors. And we do study the reasons why Rome fell and the different theories. And once they look at primary and secondary sources and evaluate evidence and get into, again, the depth and complexity of reasoning what happened, they have to decide how they're going to save Rome. And they have to come up with strategies and ideas. And then they will write about it because with project-based learning, there's different components. And one of the big ones I am very keen on is writing and producing authentic writing. So with project-based learning, it's the authenticity that in a day of we can Google anything is really important with the Gifted Magnet. And it's the challenge of that authenticity. And they love it. They come up with such incredible ideas and really do think outside of the box when they're coming up with these original ideas. And that's what I look for. It's almost as if they're teaching through investigation and I actually take a step back and they become the teachers. And that's the goal in my class, is for them to take on the initiative of so much of their own learning and coming up with these original, authentic pieces of work that are just incredible. So a little bit of my class, please feel free to go into my webpage on the Palms website. And thank you everyone for coming out. And I know one of my students is here who'd like to speak. He's been waiting for a while. And feel free to email me, parents, anytime. Take care.
Thank you, Ms. Garrett. And I want to embarrass her a little bit because she was Teacher of the Year. And if you were at a UCLA football game earlier, you would have seen her honored during the football game. And so we are so proud of her. So
thank you.
Big
Thank you
applause,
so
Ms.
much.
Garrett.
Thank you.
So now I'm going to segue over to Miss Stacy Short, who is one of our parents, and she's been a parent at Palms for quite a while, and she'll tell you about her experiences. But she's also the president of our Friends of Palms. So I'm going to ask her to talk about both of her experiences.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for being here tonight. Yes, I am a parent at Palms. I've been here for quite a while. My oldest is finished with high school and is in college. My youngest is still at Palms. So my youngest happens to be my third child to go through Palms. As a parent, I came to Palms very fearful about my kid going to a big school. I remember thinking, oh my gosh, it was a really, really hard transition. But as a parent, I think it's way harder for us than it is for the kids. I remember being very assured every time I came onto campus, when I would see lots of staff and people around. Teachers had their rooms open during lunch. Of course, that was pre-COVID. I know Ms. Cohen talked a lot about clubs, and hopefully when those start again, there are nice places for the kids to go who don't want to just be out in the quad area. My experience at Palms has been amazing. So much so that I've taken over running the parent group, the Friends of Palms organization. I've done it for many years. I did it even, I didn't hold the president position, but I still sat on the board even in my gap year in between my middle and youngest kid. Unfortunately, at this point, my last kid is at Palms, as well as many of my other board members. So I would love to see some of you strong parents come in and help take over and help shape the new board. Somebody asked what our ask is in our budget. I think we're right at around 70,000 for the year is what we're hoping to raise. Being a COVID year, it's a little tough. I know that sounds low, having come from many of the elementary schools where they raise a ton more, but we're very fortunate to be able to support our teachers with this at this point. Of course, if we get more, we can support in different ways, but that's kind of where we are right now. Our ask has not gone up in the last couple of years. I think we may be around 650, but more so we do ask that everyone participate in any way, shape, or form that you can. So yeah, I really do hope to see many of you choose Palms, either for the magnet, either one of our magnets, our SAS, or even just as the homeschool. I cannot say enough good things about Palms. So thanks, everybody. And any questions, I'm always available to answer. Thanks.
Thank you, Stacy. We are so fortunate to have such a great parent organization. So if you're a parent where you want to be involved in a school, Friends of Palms is a great way of doing it. And I know next year we're going to be looking for a lot of volunteers to fill the shoes of many of our leaving members. I want to turn it over now and hear from a couple of our students. So I believe it's Alex out there. Alex, he's one of our 6th graders.
Hello. Hello, my name is Alexander Eldridge. I am a student at the Palms Gifted Magnet. And my elementary school was Clover. I don't know if anyone here is from there, but that's where I came from. That's where my elementary school was. A couple of things that I like about the Palms Gifted Magnet is that we're definitely going at a much faster pace than we were in elementary school. It feels like if you didn't feel like you were learning maybe enough when you were in elementary school, then you just move on to the Gifted Magnet and it feels like you finally are learning enough. Another thing I like is that you do a lot of team projects. Like right now in science class, we're doing a team project where you have to build a soapbox car, like a model car made out of cardboard. And on top of that, I also feel like my time at Palms, even though it hasn't been very long, I have met a lot of really cool students and teachers and made a lot of friends. And I think that's why you will enjoy your time at Palms. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're running a little over right now, and I just want to thank you for being patient and waiting out. You can see how passionate people are, where they really want to talk about our program. I'm not sure if Lior is still here or if he needed to leave to go to a game. Lior, are you still on? All right, I think he had to leave to go to a sporting event. All right, moving on. Is Arna, are you here tonight?
Yes, I am.
All right, Arna, do you want to tell us a little bit about your experience? You're now an 8th grader in our Gifted Magnet, and you've been involved in so much. So tell us all about your experiences.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. As you heard, I'm Arna, and I'm an 8th grader right now. There are multiple things that I really cherish about my past and current experiences at Palms and in the Magnet program. So to start out, the Magnet program provides academic challenge for the students, and this is something I believe is required for all students. It's allowed me to grow in character and in perseverance, and not just in school, but in my personal life. And something I couldn't help but love are all the wonderful teachers I've had, because they don't just teach academic and elective subjects, but they teach us lessons of life, like how it's okay to make mistakes and how they're important. The teachers are devoted and they're passionate about what they do. And I also know from my experiences that they're super supportive, not just in their classrooms, but beyond them. They look out for their students' talents and interests and really guide them and help achieve what they have the potential to. And one of these teachers is Mrs. Santana, who I hope you'll hear from in a bit. But I know teachers like her, I would have made my experience at Palms in the Magnet program and even in online learning a brilliant one. Palms also offers so many extracurricular activities to nourish our students' talents and interests and to help us discover ourselves a bit more. We're offered sport programs, which involve physical activity and teamwork. And then there are artistic programs like the East West Players, who put on a drama show, and Ballet Folklorico, a culturally enriching dance form from Mexico, which is so much fun. And we even get to perform at UCLA. For musicians, we have the jazz band with the wonderful Miss Jones. And then we also have some fun academic and informative programs like TBE, also known as the Bruins Experiment, and TUPE, Tobacco Use Prevention Education. And they also promote leadership qualities. Something I find so super awesome about Palms is the support and the encouragement we receive from the teachers, staff, and the principal. During the pandemic and online learning, when a group of students, including me, realized that we had the potential to help our peers in relation to technical issues, with the help of Mrs. Santana and Mr. Choi and Mr. Hauregi, we were able to create the first student tech team in Palms. As a student, to be a part of something like that gives us a taste of responsibility and other qualities we need. I've been a part of most of these programs, and they're all just absolutely amazing, like the school. I have so much to say about Palms and how wonderful it's been for me to come here and learn. Thank you all so much for listening, and I hope you make the decision to send your kids to Palms.
Thank you, Arna, for coming out tonight. We really appreciate your insight. And thank you, Alex, for coming as well. It's always so inspiring to see you guys speak and how well you guys speak to all of our families. On that, we are going to introduce Miss Santana, who is one of our gifted magnet science teachers, but she's also involved in a lot of other things as well. Miss Santana.
Hello, am I okay now?
Yep.
Myself. Can you hear me? Okay, hi. Yes, I'm Mrs. Santana. I'm a 7th grade gifted health and science teacher. I worked at Palms for 18 years now, and I'm very honored to teach Palms students. And my lessons are engaging and challenging because I use different modalities of learning with lots of fun, hands-on activities and labs. Using the scientific method, students will experiment, solve problems, explore, and discover beyond the subject that is being taught. For example, in one of my lessons, students experiment with a transparent water flea. And what they do is that it's an amazing experience because they get to see the insides of this little water flea. And they test the effects of drugs and alcohol on it. And they need to measure the heartbeat of this little water flea to see if the drug is a depressant or a stimulant. They also get to observe the immediate effects on the body systems. And another major highlight in this experiment is that these little guys can reproduce also asexually. And this is known because most of the fleas are pregnant and there are no males in the samples. And so they clone themselves. And students can see the little baby clones, the little embryos and the little fetuses, and they sometimes can even see a live birth. So after a few days, even the males start reproducing males. male clones, and they start laying little eggs and in a little pouch, and then after they're born, they start reproducing sexually, which gives them a better chance, the species a better chance of survival. And so there's a lot involved in this lab. Not only had the effects of drugs and alcohol on the body systems, but reproduction, genetics, and more. So it is one of the highlights of the year, and definitely creates long-term learning. Now, one of my best teaching resources are my students, my gifted and talented students' abilities. I am into using their skills in my lessons and to benefit the school community. My students have conducted emergency preparedness fair for the school and neighborhood community, a drug awareness fair for our open house. And during the pandemic, unfortunately, these activities were not possible, but I did discover my students' technology skills. It got them to create their Palms First student tech team with the support of our principal, Mr. Choi, who was very impressed of their abilities, their technical abilities, and be able to help others. And so I have a few team members that are the founders of this program here tonight, who will soon be speaking about their experience. Another one of my passions here at Palms is the Ballet Folklorico. 6 years ago, I was told that Palms Elementary and Hamilton had a Ballet Folklorico, but our middle school did not. And so they asked me how could they start a Ballet Folklorico, so I gave a call to UCLA's Ballet Folklorico, and fortunately, they took on the responsibility to teach our students. And so our Ballet Folklorico has done real well. They've represented our school at LAUSD functions, UCLA, and community active events. And so we couldn't have done it without UCLA, LAUSD, our district, our administration and staff, and Friends of Palms, who has helped support us financially. We have 3 Ballet Folklorico members here today, and they will also be sharing with you their experience. Can I share some quick little pictures here of our students, if it's possible? I forgot how to share. Let me see. Shoots. Here's one of our students, our costume. This is Naomi. And can you see? And then I got Arna over here with the state of Veracruz. That's Sinaloa. And then here we got some students dancing Jalisco. And this is our group when we had before COVID, right? We had 41 students. It was next year, it is anticipated that it will be also an elective besides an after school program. And then this is another one of our costumes here. So anyway, thank you very much for allowing me to speak, and I encourage you all to have your students attend our wonderful school. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Santana. Is Naomi here?
Naomi, I don't know.
Okay, can you share your screen?
How do I gotta stop sharing, huh? How did I do that? Stop share.
There
Okay.
you go. All
Okay.
right, Naomi.
Thank you.
Hi, good evening. My name is Naomi Monterosa. I am an 8th grader at Palms Middle School, and I have had a great experience at Palms. We have nice and great teachers that care for students. After school programs, clubs, and even a Ballet Folklorico program. There are also programs in the school like Gifted Magnet or High Ability Magnet that makes us challenge our minds to learn and achieve what we have in mind. The gifted magnet has made me experience challenging work that made me realize how much I love to challenge myself. The magnet programs can help us students to make each other stronger and wiser in educating ourselves and learning subjects or things we love. There is also a Ballet Folklorico program, as I mentioned, that makes us express ourselves through dancing. I'm a second-year Ballet Folklorico dancer that likes to express feelings through dancing. Ballet Folklorico is offered on Fridays after school until 4:30. It is taught by amazing volunteer UCLA Ballet Folklorico dancers. We are hoping to have Ballet Folklorico as an elective class during sixth period. It is very exciting because we can practice more days and prepare for our end of the year shows at Palms and UCLA. The good thing is that anyone can join, and there can you don't have to have any experience to join, and there's no pressure to perform. Our performances are for nearby schools, community, and cultural events. Our highlight of the year is to perform with UCLA at their prestigious Royce Hall. I'm also proud to announce that we are also having our first 2 performances of Dia de los Muertos. We will be featured with Palm's virtual Dia de los Muertos show performed by Mr. Kim's 6th grade leadership class. We will also be featured at UCLA's Dia de los Muertos celebration on November 21st. It is very exciting to be able to together and perform live with college students since our COVID lockdown. We anticipate you all can see our featured performances on the school's website for Palms and UCLA's Dia de los Muertos celebrations. Thank you for listening and have me share my experiences at Palms. Also, thank you, Ms. Cohen and Ms. Santana and everyone for having me here.
Thank you so much, Naomi. It's so wonderful to hear all of your experiences. You're very inspiring for our up and coming students to get involved in our Ballet Folklorico. Now I want to hear from one of our students that's as part of the tech team. Is Anastasia here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about your experience with the tech team, please.
Okay. Hello, good evening. My name is Anastasia Gallardo. I am a happy 8th grader at Palms. I have nice friends at Palms and great teachers. Teachers that challenge me and make learning fun. I am here to talk to you about our student tech team. I am proud to say I am one of the founders of this wonderful necessary club. We started the tech team last year during COVID to help Palm students with technical issues the most teachers, parents, and administrators could not help us with. With the support with our principal, Mr. Choi, we became Palm's official student tech team. We created a website with tutorials, slideshows, and videos, and a Padlet. Now that we are back in school in person, we now have a Genius Bar at the library. Tech members are available in the morning at 7:30, lunchtime, and after school. To make an appointment, students can simply use the QR code that will direct them to fill out a Google form. Flyers with the QR code are posted throughout the school and in the library. Walk-ins are accepted if tech members are free to assist. Serving others is rewarding and helps us build self-esteem and learning leadership skills. Encourage your child to come and get tech support with us. Thank you and have a good night.
Thank you so much. So that's an example of a great club where students saw a need at Palms because, as we know, some of that technology when we were on Zoom, it was difficult to get up to speed. And these students took the lead, they created a club, and we hope this is something that's going to last for years and years at Palms, so that other students can also get involved and benefit from it as well. So thank you for coming out tonight and telling us about it. We're going to segue a little bit over to our leadership program. Thank you guys for sticking it out. I know we're running a little bit behind schedule. Mr. Nicholson, would you like to tell us a little bit about the leadership program?
Yes, Ms. Cohen, thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, parents, guardians. My name is Jason Nicholson, Mr. Nicholson, with the students at Palms Middle School. I teach 8th grade U.S. history, and I'm also the 7th and 8th grade leadership coordinator. Leadership as an elective, it's a very student-centered class, elective. And the purpose of the class is really to provide students with opportunities to develop their own style and interpretation of leadership. They develop skills for communication, time management, interpersonal relations, public relations, goal setting, you name it. The objectives of the course, thinking about it, is to provide a governing body to oversee student-related activities, everything from our dances, fundraisers, assemblies, etc. And two, to provide a wide range of activities and events to build unity and relationships among the student body at Palms Middle School. And three, to learn leadership skills through classwork, experience, and the experience of others, and reflecting on all we do from the first week of school to the very end. It is an elective, but there is a selection process. We ask students to receive an application from me towards the end of the year. If they're looking to get into leadership the following year, they have to fill out that application, and they also have to receive 2 letters of recommendation from teachers at Palms Middle School. And that's how that works. But with that said, I wanted to turn it over so you can actually hear from a few students in leadership. Antonio McNeil and Miss Ileana Morales. Hopefully they were able to get on. Can you hear me, Antonio?
Hi, I'm here.
Okay, so I'll go first. My name is Ileana Morales, and I'm a student at the Palms Gifted Magnet program, and I'm also in 7th and 8th grade leadership. This is my first year working with Mr. Nicholson, but so far it's been really exciting. We've got to do a lot of awesome stuff. Right now, we're currently working on our elections. But as far as the process to get in, we had to submit application and a letter of recommendation to Mr. Nicholson. So last year, for example, I was in 6th grade leadership, and I got a letter of recommendation from there. Even though our school year is just getting started, we've already accomplished so much. For example, the first week of school, we spent a lot of time getting to know one another and planning the major events that we'll be hosting this year. Such of these events include dances, spirit weeks, school tours, lunchtime activities, and the springtime music nights, to name a few. Movie nights, sorry.
Hi, my name is Antonio McNeil. So I'd like to carry on what Ileana was saying during that paragraph. So I'd like to say that we also learned a lot about every officer position in leadership, how to build a platform for our campaign, and speech writing and delivery. Our elections are actually this week. We also have been on a rotating schedule helping out for special education department and library. 2 students every day work with our special education department and 2 in our library. It is really a hands-on elective and a wonderful way to work with all of our students and the Palms faculty to make our school even better than it already is. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you so much, Ileana and Antonio, for coming out tonight and telling us a little bit about the leadership program. One thing I do want to say for potential families is in 6th grade, we have the 6th grade leadership as well. It is through a 6th grade teacher, and to qualify for the 6th grade leadership, you will ask one of your teachers or your student will ask one of their teachers or their current teacher to write a letter of recommendation so that they can get into the leadership program starting in 6th grade. And it's a wonderful program, and then it will then segue into 7th and 8th grade. So thank you guys for coming out. Now I'm going to introduce you to Miss Bradshaw, who is our current 8th grade counselor, but next year will be our 6th grade counselor, Miss Bradshaw.
Hello, everyone. I am not going to be long because so many wonderful things have already been said, but I do want to say that if you guys don't feel the love, I don't know what you're watching, because I'm sitting here and I am so proud to work at Palms. Matter of fact, I want to go to Palms listening to all these wonderful things that's been said. I hope you feel that we love your students. I hope you feel that this is a place that you can send your kids and you will know that there is a community that's rooting for them. I will be their 6th grade counselor, but I also will follow them 6th, 7th, and 8th grade. That helps me build a relationship with them coming in and also helping them to leave out. And because of that, I get to know a lot about them and be able to implement programs for each and every one of them. And plus, a lot of our students are asking about after-school activities, Saturday programs, summer programs. So they're really putting me to work. And I look forward to doing that. But I did want to say I'm so proud of all my babies. I see you guys. You just don't know. This is incredible to be working in an environment and in a school. This is my first year. So working in a school where I do feel like the students love being there. And I feel like the students feel that they have a voice. And if they don't, if their voice is not that loud, that's what I'm there for, to help them yell it out a little bit more. I hope you feel that, and I hope you apply and come so that we can love your children as much as we love the children that are currently in the building. Thank you very much. I'm Miss Bradshaw.
Thank you, Miss Bradshaw. Thank you for coming out tonight. We do have a few gifted magnet teachers that are here tonight as well. So I would like to have them unmute themselves. Is Miss Shimizu still on? I don't know if she's still here. Okay. Oh, Miss Igarashi, would you like to unmute yourself and just introduce yourself?
Hi, good evening. My name is Mrs. Igarashi. I've been at Palms for, teaching 24 years, but longer than that. Graduated from college and been working there. And I think I can tell you, not only is it a great school to work at, but I've also been a parent. Both my kids have gone through the program. They've had Ms. Anderson. They had Ms. West, the previous music teacher. And right now, at this very, very moment, I'm speaking to you as a parent. It was the best choice for my students because they were able to learn so much about themselves. And I couldn't have picked a better school for my kids. So, I invite you to send your kids and for taking the same journey that my kids also went through. Thank you. And I'm a math science teacher, 6th grade.
Thank you, Ms. Igarashi. Ms. Huang, did you want to say a few words?
Sure. Hi, everyone. Good evening. My name is Grace Huang. Some of your students may have known me as Grace Trin, Miss Trin last year, but I am teaching 7th grade English in the Gifted Magnet. I'm also one of the department heads for the English department. And I don't have much to say, just hello. And as you have already seen and heard, we truly have such a wonderful program here. It is such a joy and privilege to be a part of the Gifted Magnet and to work with these students. I am regularly blown away by how insightful and driven and sweet they all are. So if you have any questions about English or just want to reach out and chat, definitely feel free to hit me up. Again, Grace Huang, it's nice to be here. Thank you.
All right, so that's the end of our main portion of tonight's program. I want to thank everyone who came out. I am going to go over the application process. So for those of you who are presenters, our kids, our parents, thank you so much for taking your time to introduce yourselves, to talk about our program. We really do appreciate it. families, if you want to learn more about the application, I'm going to now segue into that. And then once I'm done, I'm going to go over and do a Q&A for additional questions. I've been writing down some of them that are in the chat room, and I will go over those as well. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we're going to go over here. And I'm going to go through these slides. We've done quite a few of these slides already. So let me go down to the bottom. Sorry. All right, application website. So right now is the time to apply. We call this the on-time application process. And this is the most important time to apply. And one of the reasons why is because historically applications that are where Palms is your first choice and maybe even your only choice, and you get either a spot or you're put on our on-time application wait list. Historically, you will be eventually offered a spot. Now, I can't guarantee that, but historically we do get through all of those, and I'll explain that in a second. So all of these websites go to the same spot, which is the echoices.lausd.net. You do need to make sure that you have a parent account, which is what you would use for the parent portal. And I highly recommend to do it online. Don't do the paper application, because you will have be able to get instant information from the schools and from your application through the emails rather than through the mail. This is what the Unified Enrollment site looks like. If you notice, there are many different programs that you have available. That's one of the nicest things about being in LA is we are called a school of choice. So there are magnets, there are dual language, School for Advanced Studies, we call that the SAS, admission criteria schools, affiliated charters. If you don't know what any of those schools are, please go to this website and you can research it. But we're going to talk about the magnet program. So you have, when you apply to the magnet program, you can choose up to 3 choices, but you don't have to. So what will happen with that is when you put down any of your choices, the computer system treats each school you put on the applications as one you would send your child to, because you could receive an offer from any of them. Of course, you rank it first, second, and third, but it doesn't mean that you would get your first choice school. So if you're made an offer from your application, then you're no longer on the wait list for any schools in the program that for your other choices. For example, let's say you had our media magnet, you had our gifted magnet, and let's say you had another magnet program that maybe at Mark Twain. And the gifted magnet was your first choice, but you put these other 2 down. Well, you might get offered from the modern media and communications magnet, and now you're not on our wait list for the gifted magnet. So you have to decide what you want to do. Do you want to put all 3 schools, or do you want to just put one? One thing that you do need to know is there is a late application, and I'm going to talk about the how you can play around with that as well too. So when you're looking at your schools, you want to look at how many openings do they have compared to other schools as well. There's some schools where their percentage of people who apply, maybe only 25% get in. Our school, historically, if you apply and we're your first choice school and you're put on the wait list, historically we do get through that wait list, and I'll tell you why in a second. Next is if you don't get accepted to any of the schools that you applied to, you will only be waitlisted for your first choice school. So even if you put down 3 schools and let's say there were no spots available, then you are waitlisted on your first choice school only. If you put 1 choice, you'll be guaranteed to be on that school's wait list. So you can always apply to 1 or 2 schools, then February 1st, make sure you do a backup school that day on February 1st to get on the school's late list. And what I mean by that is, and you have to do what's comfortable for you. It's you know, you could do 1 school And then do your backup schools as the late list, which would mean February 1st, the point system is no longer used. It's first application, first in line on the late application list. And that's why I keep repeating February 1st. So let's say, for example, the Gifted Magnet was your first choice school. And that's the school you really want your child to go to. I would suggest only putting the Gifted Magnet as your only school on your application. Then maybe February 1st, if you want to go have your child at Palms, do the Media Magnet as your backup school, or if there's another magnet, do those as your backup schools. That way, if you're put on the wait list, those late applications, they do not cancel out any wait list, on-time wait list applications. Even if you're offered a spot. So let's say you're on our on-time application wait list, and then you do a late application February 1st, and I give you a call and say, oh, there's a spot in the Media Magnet. That Gifted Magnet application never goes away. And so once a spot opens up in the Gifted Magnet, I would then make that phone call. And if you did accept into our other magnet program, or even the SAS program, and I'll talk about that in a second, and I would call you up and say, a spot is opened up. Would you like for me to transfer your child into the Gifted Magnet at this time? It's a pretty easy transfer if it's before school has started, which we do get a lot of openings right at the beginning of the school year, because that's when we find out when people have moved, even though we try and find that out beforehand. And so we do have a lot of openings then. Once school starts, though, there are different teachers that teach in all the different programs. So it would mean your child would get a new schedule. So so I want to back up. We know, let me go back to this screen here. There are multiple programs. Each of these programs you can apply to up to 3 schools. I highly recommend, if you want to get into the Gifted Magnet, also apply for our SAS program. That way, we do find that there's less applications for the SAS program, so that potentially you could get into the SAS program while you're waiting for a spot for the Gifted program to open up. But you might actually be offered a spot in both. What will happen is come March, that is when the letters will go out on if you were offered a spot. And if you were offered a spot both in the Gifted Magnet and our SAS program, by April, you will only be able to choose one of those programs. And that's another reason why we start going through our wait list. Because of the school of choice, you have families that apply to multiple programs within LAUSD. They also might apply for non-LAUSD schools. And then they're only going to accept one, and that's when things open up again. So those are just some recommendations there. Here's the timeline. So right now we have the open application. I just realized I have the old slide on here, but they're basically the same dates. October, November, it's November 12th of this year is when the application deadlines close. Please do not wait till November 12th, because in case there's a crash that happens, try and do it earlier than that. If you've already made your applications and you change your mind, you should be able to go back in and change it. In December, you will receive an email. That's your confirmation email. That is not saying that you got into any school. This is a very important email. You need to check the emails, the phone numbers, and your child's grade on it for the following year. Because if any of it's wrong, there may be a problem with that magnet coordinator or whatever the program coordinator reaching you. If we aren't able to reach you, then we end up declining your child. So very important, check those confirmation letters and make corrections at that time. February is when you will find out if you're applying for a Gifted Magnet or an SAS program and you're waiting for a verification process. You will get the letters in February of whether or not, actually, I believe it might be in December. No, it is in February. February, if your child qualified for the Gifted or an SAS program, that's when they'll be sent to the applicants. Also, February 1st is when the applications will open up for the late applications. March is when you're going to find out if you've been accepted into a program or if you've been waitlisted. April is when you will have to make a decision on whether you accept it or you decline it. As soon as people start accepting or declining starting in March, as soon as I get a space that's open, I will reach out to the families that are on the wait list. So even if you're waitlisted, you might hear from me all the way in March. As a magnet coordinator, I'm obligated to reach out to a family 3 times. And within 3 days, you do have to give us a decision if you're on the wait list on whether or not you're going to accept the spot or decline it. Now, once you've been accepted into the program, May, usually for us, end of May, beginning of June is when you'll get some enrollment paperwork from us, and you'll fill out the enrollment paper and send it back to us. So points, this is a little confusing. We are in a point system. If you have a child that currently is enrolled in our magnet program and will still be enrolled in our magnet program, and your 5th grader is applying next year to the same program, they will be awarded 3 additional magnet points. If you're currently at a school that's designated as overcrowded, you will be awarded 4 points. You'll have to ask your principal if that is the case for your school. FABAO schools, so if you are at a FABAO school, you also are awarded 4 points. And then waitlisted, if you've been applying to magnet schools up to the last 3 years, you're awarded 4 years for each year you've applied to a magnet school and you've been waitlisted. And that is only for on time. If you've done late applications, you don't get points for that. That's just if you've done on-time applications anytime in the last 3 years and you've not been accepted into a program, each year you received 4 points. Now, if your child is currently in a magnet program and they're matriculating into middle school, they're going to leave with the 12 points. The same thing will happen in a middle school when they're going into high school. They will leave our magnet programs with 12 points.